Hi, everybody. My name is Trey Thompson. I'm a member in the group here, and I have watched over the last few weeks um, kind of the tension in the group escalate. And I wanted to throw out a message of encouragement for all of us. Admins may delete this, people may flame me or hate me or whatever, but um, it's just been on my heart, and I wanted to get this out there and see what happens. I got 5 points I want to go over really quickly. Um, well, I guess six. The first one is I'm not an admin. I'm not related to Loop in any way other than I am a user for my daughter who was diagnosed a little over 2 years ago. Um, I am a partner in an IT company, and I am as active as I can be in the group, supporting people and helping because I've received so much help and I want to do my best to pay it forward. So that's me. I'm not an admin in any way related to Loop or Riley Link or anything else. Night Scout Foundation. I'm just a user. So this message is for everybody. It's for all of us. And the first point I have is, what is this and why are we here? Let's not forget what we're battling. We're battling primarily type 1 diabetes. Um, we're not battling each other. And this is a disease that frankly kicks everyone's asses. And this tool has been created, and these tools, I'll say, I'm talking primarily about Loop for iOS with Riley links. We're also Omnipod users, but um, all of the looping tools is really what I'm referencing, but I'm specifically an iOS user. These were created because healthcare, the pharmaceutical industry is going too slow. And that's a whole nother topic, but that's why we're here in this group. We want something better, we want it now, and that's why we're here to better either our lives or the lives of our loved ones. Let's remember that as the goal of why we're here. Um, let's also not forget that this group has, I think, at least doubled in size in the last few months. So this group is experiencing growing pains. But let's just remember why we're here. My second point, what is this? You know, why are we even here? Or what is this group even for? It's to ease in the distribution of a looping system, and specifically related to Loop for iOS and Riley links and either Omnipods or Medtronic pumps. Um, it's some hardware that some wonderful people developed and built after thousands of hours of free work. Thousands of hours, not a couple of weekends here and there to kind of, tweak and do some things. We're talking many, many years, and the history's all out there. Y'all can all go find it. The code itself, I'm not positive, but I would suspect all of it is hundreds of thousands of lines of code, and again, representing tens of thousands of man hours of people just doing what they want to do to better not just their lives, but my life and my daughter's life and your life. So let's not forget that, okay? Number three, who is this for? Now, this may rub people the wrong way, but this is not for everybody. Um, there are other efforts in place to get tools out available to the public, very, very similar to this Tidepool Loop. Um, and that is going to be geared for just about everybody. This is not for everybody. I have many friends in the communities that I'm involved in who I have said, this is not a great solution for you for various reasons. Um, and I think some of the requirements related to is this right for you is, can you, this is going to rub people the wrong way, but I'm going here anyway. Can you really read a lot of instructions, and I'll touch on that in a minute, and follow all of those instructions? If you had a manual to build a model car and that manual was 200 pages long, could you read through all that on your own and build that model car on your own? Or Are you looking for something that you could just go to the hobby store and buy a car, a model car that's going to take, an hour to put together and then you can drive it? Those are two very, very different things. And the reality is that for this particular system, it's my opinion that you really have to be ready to invest in the 200-page manual to build that model car. So it's not for everyone. It's also not medically for everyone. Some people's bodies are different, or everybody's bodies are different, but for some people, it's just not going to work well. And that's okay. That's okay. Um, I'm going to go to my fourth item. I don't know if I said the who is it for was my third. I'm going to go to my fourth item, and that's to talk to new users and just users in general. I know that for me, most of my answers point people back to the documentation. And I completely understand that that can seem cold, harsh, rude, lazy. Why can't, I, I totally respect that and I understand that. And we get the comments of, why can't you just answer the question? I really do respect that and I understand that. But there's a specific reason. And the reason is because I'm sitting here at my desk, at my office, at my company, and I'm trying to help you as well. I'm talking specifically to users who are asking for help. And so I want to give you the best tool that you need to solve your problem. I don't want to solve your problem for you. I want to teach you to solve your problem. And the reason is because this is not a set it and forget it. This is not a Ron Popeil, you buy it off of TV and plug it in and you're good to go. You're going to have to maintain it. You're going to have to do software updates. You're going to have to really tweak the settings. And there is at loopdocs.org, I just went and looked, there is around 68 sections of documentation there. That's a lot. If you join the group and then an hour later you post to the group, hey, I've read all the docs, I'm sorry, but that's just not true. And the goal is that you really do read all of that and really do understand it all. Because you're asking me to take time away from my job at my office to help you, and I want to do that. I want to pay it forward so that you will help pay it forward as well and improve the lives of people who are struggling. But when we go back and forth in the messages over and over and over, as an example, let's just pretend for a second that page 1 of the document, or page 5 of the documentation said, you should paint your door red. I'm just making that up, obviously. And you post a question in the group, hey, what color am I supposed to paint the door? Well, that tells me one of two things. Either all of the documentation was not read, or it was just something that was missed. And that's okay. There's not a blame thing coming from me. But I'm going to point back to that page 5 of that documentation and to show you need to read this page again. I don't want to just say you need to paint the door red. It's the old adage of teach a man to fish and you feed him for a lifetime. Give a man to fish and he eats for a day. I said those backwards, but you get the idea. This is not a product that I want to continue to support you on. I want to teach you to support yourself. That's why we keep pushing back to the documentation. Again, it's not because we're lazy. It would be so much easier and faster to just give you the answer and to just say, paint the door red, done, move on. But it's better for you and it's better for us in the long term. And by us, I mean those of us that help out, for you to really learn exactly how to run this system. I mentioned 68 sections in Loop Docs. I'll mention, I just checked, and there's 22 sections around at looptips.org. Those have got to become your Bible. Okay, that's 90 sections of documentation. You can't pop through that in 30 minutes. That's hours and hours and hours of reading, and then rereading, and then rereading. And that's what it takes. That's what it takes. Okay, and this brings me to my fifth and final, now that I'm 10 minutes long, I'm sorry, but my fifth and final topic, and that is um, admins, volunteers, people like me who are just trying to help out. Um, let's see all of the above items that I've mentioned. Why are we here? We're here because this disease sucks, and we're trying to help each other. And so the posts with the little Jedi pictures of read the docs and all that stuff, it's cute and it's fun. But I want you to imagine a mom showing up at your door and ringing the doorbell and saying, my 5-year-old son um, has type 1 diabetes and I need your help. Um, I would think that you would be loving and caring and respectful and want to help in a way that you have been helped. And so this is just a recommendation. I'm just trying to give some ideas to maybe help bring the flame level down in the group. When someone asks and the answer is to point them back to the documentation, do a few things. Number one, confirm their question. Confirm their frustration. Welcome them to the group. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad that you're on this journey with us. That answer to your question is actually in the middle of this page in the documentation. So make sure you reread that section and see if you can figure it out. And if you can't, come back here and state clearly, I've reread the documentation. I found the page, that has what I'm talking about, but I still can't figure it out and I need your help. Talk them through that so that they don't feel like you're just brushing them off. It's important to feel like you're cared about. And as people who are helping, we need to show them that we do care about them. We're here to help. Um, and also, I'll throw out sorry, I got a little flustered there, but imagine it again, it was you, and be gentle. Um, choose words carefully. So there's many out there who answer things like, well, obviously you didn't read the directions, or obviously this is the answer, or if they're asking the question, it's not obvious. So I encourage you to be careful with your word choice. Um, and if you're frustrated, take a break, take a step back. There's lots of people who are willing to help. And just take a few days off. Questions aren't going to go unanswered. And if they do, then the users will ask again. Um, I think it's important that we, as the volunteers who are helping to answer the questions, do our best to train these users to read the documentation and to troubleshoot. And when we're stuck, ask for help. But to not belittle people and to not minimize their query or their question by being cute in the way that we respond with read the docs, read the docs, read the docs, read the docs. I have talked personally in person, and I've talked via message to people who are very hurt by the tone that some of us have portrayed, myself included, and I'm correcting that. Of just read the docs. And it's frustrating to have new users come in. You could tell they're brand new and they ask questions that are clearly outlined. I know it's frustrating, but let's be gentle in the way we guide them. Remember, the system isn't for everybody, but we can always answer with respect. We can always answer with kindness, and we can always show compassion that we're all fighting this BS disease together, and that's the key. So, sorry for talking for 15 minutes. I hope I don't get booted out of the group, but I just wanted a reminder of why we're here. This disease sucks. That's why we're all here together. What this system is, it's not for everybody, and it's okay if it's not for you. Don't try to make a round peg fit in a square hole. If you don't understand how to set basal rates on your own pump, or you don't understand how to figure out things, spend months learning before trying to use the system. And even then, it may still not be for you. Regular users and new users, read the docs, become an expert. Um, when you have questions, post screenshots. Search the group for screenshots. I put a post up there on how to do screenshots on a Mac or on your iPhone. Those are so much better than taking a picture of your computer screen, because we zoom in to read text. So users, just give us as much info as you can, and be respectful in your questions too, because remember, nobody works for Loop in the DIY community. We are all taking our time out of our day to help. Um, and then admins and helpers, let's be gentle, let's be kind, take a break if you need to. I took a break while my daughter was at camp, and I only answered maybe 2 or 3 posts in the last 3 weeks. It was a good refresher to get away, but let's love each other, care about each other, respect each other. Don't tell people, well, just RTFM, just Google it. Let's guide each other and teach each other. That's all I have. Sorry for rambling. Have a great day. Hope your looping is going well.